Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I am halfway through July, mood reading month, and I'm halfway through my vlog of how many subscription box books can I read. And the answer is a lot, but not as many as I was hoping. So I'm in the part of the year where I'm like, I'm not gonna hit my goal of cutting my physical TBR in half. So I wanna see if there's other ways of removing books from my TBR. And I did this earlier in the year and you guys seem to like it. So we're gonna do it again because it was efficient and it was fun and you know, why not? So we're going to do another try a chapter and unhaul video. I have picked 5 books from my subscription boxes, ones that I have had the longest and or ones that I am no longer sure that I'm going to like. And then I have picked 5 books from just my regular TBR that I have owned forever. All of these I have owned for longer than 5 years, if not much, much, much longer than that. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to sit down and show you all the books and then we'll get into it. Okay, I lied. Here's Pippin. Say hi, everyone. Say hi. He's very silent. He's a silent goofus. I forgot that I have to get the books. So let's collect the books. Where's my, oh, I have a list. My list is in my pocket. This is really efficient. Okay, there's my list. Okay, what do we got? We got, okay, number 1. Actually, we've got 2 of them on here. We've got Drowned Woods and City of Stardust. Okay, so there's 2. What else do I have? Let's see, The Attic Child, Sword Catcher, and Lunar Love. That's me, aren't I cute? It's my sister. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Sherlock. You gotta stay. Ah, shit. Whatever. Sword Catcher. Pippin, don't do that to the carpet. That's not our carpet. He doesn't care. Okay, then we've got Lunar Love and The Attic Child. So those are book of the month. Oh, Lunar Love is out there. Where did I put it? Okay. Oh, it's right here. I was thinking it was orange. That was cat fur. What have you guys been rubbing on that? Okay, hold on a second. I gotta get it out. I gotta move this situation. The Attic Child. Okay, let's get Pippin, get out of my closet. What are you doing? Oh, there he is. You can't see him. Those were pants, not Pippin. So let's bring these. This is, I'm sure this is the best cinematography you've ever seen. There's Lily. Lily, say hi to everyone. Say hi. She usually makes noises, but she doesn't want to right now. Okay. Boom. Don't look at this pile. It doesn't exist. Lunar Love. Okay. Wait, where'd my list go? Oh, shit. Yeah, run, run, run. Run, run. I love watching him walk away. Wait, where is it? For real. Oh, it's right here. Okay, and then we've got Secret Countries out there. I'll wait. Revelation Spaces out there. Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. All right, what's that frickin' author's name? So that's in my regular fiction section. Do I even still have that book? I think that I don't have it. I think I got rid of it. Did I already get rid of it? Oops. Well, I don't know where it would be if it wasn't in here. Am I just blind? Like, where is it? That's where it would be. Oops. Oh wait, is it just a different color and I'm like misremembering? I think I got rid of it. Shit. Okay, well, we'll come back to that and I'll replace it with something. I don't want to get up. Ugh. Oh, it's right here. Oh my God. Okay. All right, so I got that one. What's next? 13 Little Blue Envelopes. And okay, that one's out front. And then the last one, we gotta dive in here. Where is it? It's gotta be back here because it's ugly. I hate it. And this is a book I've been meaning to read for literal. Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it. Oh, Pippin, look at all that fur, dude. Got it. I hate that cover. Okay. Boom. Now the last ones that are in my mass market stacks. Let's see if we can find them. Okay, first is Revelation Space and The Secret Country. I think they're probably behind somewhere, of course. There's The Secret Country, hold on. Yeah, shush. Okay, there's The Secret Country. Now one more, two more. Discount Armageddon and Revelation Space. So Revelation Space is back there somewhere, I think. Oh wait, no, it's in sci-fi, so it's back here. Lily, stop that, stop. That's my list. Those are all Star Wars books. Star Wars books. Star Wars. Star Wars. Oh, you know what? I think since I did my double stacking, I'm sorry, this is really, I'm sure, nauseating camera work. I think it's back here somewhere. That's a Fire Upon the Deep. We did that one last time. Aha! Aha! Let me move it. Boom. Oops. Okay, what was the last one again? This one, I actually don't know if I still have it or I should. Oh, there it is. There it is. Discount Armageddon. Right here. Ah! Ah! Yeah. Let's refresh the rules. I have just sat down and watched my previous video. I have written the questions down legibly this time, and I remember how I did it, so we don't have to mess around with me being like, what do I do? What's math? The questions that I will ask of every book that I read are, did I like the characters? Did it catch my interest? Did I like the writing style? Vibe check, not really a question, but anything worth tabbing. Each question can get a 0, a 1, or a 2. Any book that totals 5 or under gets unhauled and DNF'd. Any book 6 and above, I keep. As an example of how this helped me last time, I unhauled several books that I've had for years that would have just sat and taken up space on my shelf. And I have since put 2 of the books that I read on my TBR for later this year that would not have gotten there had I not read the first chapter and then like teased myself. So in those 2 books that, I think there might be 3 actually, but the 2 that I remember for sure that I put on my official TBR are, the big fancy book, the Oprah Winfrey, Kenneth something, oh my God. I can't remember the name, I'll put it here. And A Changed Man by Francine Prose. So those are on my TBR for later this year. So it works. But mostly I just want to like find a way to, sorry, my arm hurt. I just want to find a way to get these books on my TBR or off my TBR permanently. I'm going to be doing a mid-year freakout tag at the end of this month along with a book buying ban check-in. So I'll let you know how my reading goals are going, but it really is not as good as I wanted it to be at this point in the year. In fact, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but that's for a later video. Right now I'm going to sit and, oh, let me turn this camera around. Oh, I should have had it here this whole time because it's a stupid window. Whatever. Who cares? Low budget production. I have to stay here now because she's here and she wants to be with me. Okay, so here are the books I'm going to be reading. I will probably alternate like 2 regular TBR books, then 2 subscription box books, then 2 regular, and then 1 of each, just to keep you on your toes. I'm not going to read them in this order. Oh, one more thing. Okay. I'm going to be proactive about this and not do it at the end of the video. Please, if you're watching this video and you enjoy this channel, hit that subscribe button. Okay, I said subscribe. Did the little button do the little rainbow like blah, 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 blah thing? Did it? Did it? Please subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. Now on to the rest of the video. Okay, first 2 books down. These are the 2 I started with. So let's start with 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. Some backstory on this. I have owned this. This is one of the oldest books on my TBR, and I don't know why I've never gotten around to reading it. The cover is heinous. This is one of the most embarrassing book covers that I own. I was like, surely I will get rid of this book. Well, guess what? Okay, I don't think so, but let's double check. Let's ask the questions. Did I like the characters? Yes, I didn't not like them. They weren't the strongest part of these first couple of sections. Like this one had like super short chapters. So I actually read the first letter and then I read the first 2 little mini chapters and then another letter and then I stopped. So at like page 23. This is a book about Ginny, who I believe is 18. I don't really know actually. But her aunt, who is only 35, has recently died and left her behind a mysterious quest. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be like that dumb movie that I watched, P.S. I Love You or whatever. It's gonna be really contrived. And then I was like wanting to keep going by the end. But the characters, I'm only on page 23, so I really don't know yet. No red flags about any of them so far, so I'm gonna give it a 1. Did it catch my interest? Yes, I wanted to keep going immediately. I was like, oh man, I gotta read these other books. I wanna know what's in the other envelopes. Did I like the writing style? Yes, actually I did, which surprises me because I have not had the best luck with Maureen Johnson before. Maybe it's her contemporaries that I like better. That's the other book that the Bermuda's Triangle is the other contemporary book I've read from her. And I did really like the writing style in that one. But I've read a couple of her other like mystery/fantasy books and I did not like them. Oh, I didn't give it a score. So did I like the characters? Gets a 1. Did it catch my interest? Gets a 2. So I'm at 3. And then did I like the writing style? Gets a 1. So we're at 4. Vibe check, yes. Gets a 2 for sure. So we're at 6. So I'm already keeping it. And then anything worth tabbing? I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention to the writing that much. I was just like, what's happening? What's going on? Which is always a good feeling to have. I guess I'll give it a 1 because I was so absorbed in it. Obviously the writing was doing something right, but I can't give it a full 2. So this one gets a 7. So I'm gonna write that down on my little pad. I thought I was gonna get rid of this one for sure, but turns out I'm into it. I really hate this cover though. So if I do end up reading this, I'm definitely getting rid of this copy because this is like so embarrassingly 2000s. Keeping. Next up is The Attic Child. This is a literary/historical fiction book that I got from Book of the Month back in the day when I had 2 Book of the Month accounts, one in my name, one in my cat's name. Yes, I did. The books came to Hal and my last name. And sometimes I get emails saying, Hal, do you want to restart your subscription? He's dead now, but he was my son. Okay, let's go through the questions. Oh, first of all, this is a book about 2 timelines. It's about a child whose name is Dikembe. And I only read the first chapter, so I don't know what happens exactly, but somehow he becomes locked in an attic. And then a second timeline in the 60s of some girl. I don't know, I didn't get to anything with her in it. This really didn't give me much beyond like the style, but I feel like it was enough, but we'll see. Question number 1, did I like the characters? No, because of other stuff. Like I didn't, we'll get to it. I'll just say no. Like there was nothing. I had no feelings for them. So therefore I feel like I don't care what happens to them. So I feel like I can't give it any score on that question. Did it catch my interest? No. I was zoning out so hard this entire time. I was like, I kept having to track back and start paragraphs over because I realized that I wasn't paying attention to what I was reading. And I was just generally extremely unengaged. Did I like the writing style? No. And that contributed to the answers of the other 2 questions. So far we've got 0s on all 3. You see where this is going. The writing style was very, I'm sure some of it was preference, but it was very bland and very tell not show. This happened, then this happened, and then this happened. Like, give me some dialogue, give me some description. Also, it doesn't, I don't think the book started in the right place. It was like very dull and very uninteresting. 0, 0, 0 so far. Vibe check, nope, 0. No vibes. Anything worth tabbing? No, 0. Okay. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I would DNF this if I read it. So I'm like gonna just pre-un-DNF it and just say I'm gonna get rid of it because I got a 0. I'm not into it. Sorry. But hey, 2 down. Back in a bit. Round 2. These are the books I read. Also, I just realized I immediately forgot my plan of doing 2 and 2. So I'm just doing 1 of each in each update. So whatever. Let's go with Discount Armageddon. So this is a book I never would have bought on my own if not prompted, but I go to the Tucson Festival of Books every year. One year Shauna McGuire was there and I wanted to get a book signed and I forgot the book that I already owned at home. So I bought this. And then, as you will see, didn't get it signed. I don't remember why. I think the line was too long, or I had to go somewhere, or something. Anyway, it was a wasted effort. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. But urban fantasy is just really not for me, especially this type of urban fantasy where the publishers seem to think it was imperative to have the sexiest girl possible on the cover. I don't like it. It was fine. The first chapter of this was fine. So let's go. I'm genuinely unsure what's about to happen. Did I like the characters? I did not like them. So I guess 1. Did it catch my interest? No. It was just this girl Verity dancing in a club. And then there was a prologue of her when she was 6 dancing like a maniac. And her parents were like, she just wants to dance. I was like, okay. So she wants to dance and she hunts cryptids. This is what this book is about. Honestly, urban fantasy isn't my favorite. So this is already not, we'll get there. Did I like the writing style? It was fine. It wasn't bad. So I've got, well, 3. So did I like the characters? 1. Did it catch my interest? 1. Did I like the writing style? Vibe check. 1. It was fine. Anything worth tabbing? No. 4. I guess this is going. I kind of figured that it would. Next up, this one I'm also not sure about. Okay, and that's Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. Now, this is an author whose books I've previously despised, but this is her first adult fantasy, and it was coming in the Fairy Loot Adult, and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, and I almost immediately regretted that because it doesn't have great reviews, and I'm like, well, if it doesn't even have great reviews, like, why am I wasting my time with it? Look how thick it is. Like, this is a beautiful book. I don't really like the cover very much, but the underneath of the book is very pretty. But I don't care. Cassandra Clare is not for me, generally, so that was my feeling going into this, but I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a shot. Bitch, I didn't even read the first chapter. The prologue is 37 pages long. Who does she think she is, Robert Jordan? Prologue should not be 37 pages. Chapters should barely be 37 pages. Also, a lot of, like, I could have easily cut that first chapter in half, if not in, like, by a third, to really get down to business. Like, you don't want to open up your book luxuriously. Like, I was like, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point. The end scene when the main character, Kel, which, by the way, she steals names from everywhere you can think of. Kel and Connor. Kel agrees to be Connor's sword catcher, which is not gay, sadly. One thing about Cassandra Clare is she's aggressively straight, and so is her fiction, but she enjoys a little bit of incest. So if you're into that, I don't think there's any of that in this, though. I guess I could be wrong. Let's ask questions. Did I like the characters? Yes, I think I did. It's kind of hard to tell because there was so much other stuff going on that was getting in the way of me caring about them, but I think I did. I didn't love them, so I'll give it a 1. Did it catch my interest? At the very end it did, but it took like 35 pages to get there. I felt like she was trying to mimic the scene in reverse from the beginning of Lies of Locke Lamora, where Locke is sold to, it's not an orphanage, it's like, but it's a priest. Anyway, I feel like it was like going for that. And the city is named Castellane, which is like literally just castle. So what? Did it catch my interest? I already asked that. So we've got 2. So I'm going to give it a 1 for both of those. Doesn't get a 2 for catching my interest because it took 35 pages. Did I like the writing style? Sometimes I did and sometimes I didn't. So I guess I'll give it a 1 because, like I said, there was just so much writing in here that was unnecessary. I don't care about the descriptions of this castle or this city. Get me inside this character's head and give me an experience. And like, it didn't really do that until the end of the prologue, which again was 37 pages long. Vibe check. I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1. Anything worth tabbing? No. Oh, dang. This is going. I should have said at the beginning of this video, I'm not saying no to these books forever. If something happens where I decide I do want to read them, I will read them. I will get them from the library. I will whatever. I'll do Libby. Like I could maybe do this on audiobook to see if it gets any more interesting. I don't know, but I don't need to keep it. Look at this enormous book. I don't need this in my house if I'm feeling 4 out of 10 about it. Going off for round 3. Round 3. These are the 2. Let's go. So this book was a gift from my sister, and I feel bad because I never read it. And I'm usually the one giving her books because I buy all the books or read all the books I want. So it's kind of hard to buy me books unless you buy me a special edition or something. Anyway, she gave this to me, and it's historical fiction and it's literary fiction, which those two, not anymore. Those aren't really books that call to me. I just haven't read it yet. And so I had no idea what to expect going into this. Much to my surprise, I enjoyed it. So let's just confirm with the questions. Did I like the characters? Yes, I did. Main character's name is Henry. He is a Chinese American. It's 1986 in the present day timeline, but then it also has a 1942 timeline during World War II, right after the bombing of Pearl Harbor and just before the Japanese internment camps were opened in America. The book is, I think, going to follow him as he tries to track down a girl named Keiko, who he met in 1942 before she was taken to a Japanese internment camp. And the hotel is the Panama Hotel, and I guess the inciting incident of the book, it's in the first chapter, is that somebody buys this hotel and they look in the basement and they find the remnants of 27, or was it 47? Either 27 or 47 Japanese families who never got to claim their stuff because they were taken away. I did like Henry. He was very sweet. I felt really bad for him in the past timeline with his parents who did things questionable, but they thought it was for the best. Like they told him he wasn't allowed to speak Chinese anymore, which he didn't understand at all because it cut him off from them, like his relationship, but it also cut him off from the other kids because the other kids don't care that he's learning English. They just see him as somebody who isn't a Christian. And then the other thing is that they make him wear a sign saying I am Chinese, and they can't explain to him why they're making him do that. But then he gets to school and he realizes it's because his parents don't want anyone to think he's Japanese. Doesn't really help with the bullying, but still. Did it catch my interest? Yes, I am very interested in this. I liked Henry. I want to see what happens. I mean, it's kind of not a sentimental novel, but it's one of those novels where you can tell that it's going to have a happy ending. Maybe it'll have some angst in the middle, but like he's going to find Keiko, I feel like. Anyway, did I like the writing style? Yes. It wasn't my favorite writing style. It was a bit subdued. It did what it needed to do, clearly, because I was really interested in it. So I'll give that a 1. So we've got a 5. Vibe check. This wasn't really so much about the vibes as it was about like the characters and what was happening at that time in history. So I'll give it a 1 for vibes because it's like not super strong. So that's 6. And then anything worth tabbing, yes. I actually noted a line where I was like, oh, wow, I would tab that. And I think there was 2, but the one that I'm remembering right now is from page 11. And it's talking about when he was a kid, how he was the kid who's not pictured in the yearbook. And then he says, yeah, in the column next to the giant class photo was a list of names, those not pictured. Henry found his name on the list. He was indeed absent from the rows and rows of smiling children, but he'd been there that day. All day. That just tells you exactly what you need to know about his life. It's good. I'm keeping this for sure. This is an 8. Terrible, this boring cover though. Totally boring. So let's put down 8. That's the highest one yet, surprisingly. Next up is The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd Jones. This is one of the very first Illumicrate books I ever got. Does it say what month it was? It just says 2022. I want to say it was like February or something, 2022, and I joined in December 2021. You can tell it's one of the early ones because there are no fancy end papers, and it's got the original cover with just a change. It does have sprayed edges and a really pretty hardback and under dust jacket, but I can't tell you the last time I got a book from a subscription box where the end papers were plain. This is definitely an early one before subscription box special edition mania happened. Did I like the characters? Yes, I did like them. I didn't love them, but I was intrigued by them. It was mostly like very plot heavy. Well, there was a prologue and a chapter 1 that I read, and the prologue was very like fairy tale folklore-esque. So that's not really about character when you do that. That is a totally different thing that you're concentrating on. So the character didn't really have a chance to shine there. And then in chapter 1, it was very like action-based. All we know about her, the main character, whose name is I don't know how to say it, it's Welsh. M-E-R-E-R-I-D. Is it Meredith? Meredith? I know that Welsh names pronounce things differently than English ones, so I don't know. But she goes by Mare. So she's on the run from a prince. She can wield the element of water. She's what they call a diviner. She can divine water and control it. She's on the run from this prince who I guess made her use her powers to kill a bunch of people. And she'd had enough, so she ran. And then she's tracked down by her former caregiver / mentor, who was the spy master for the same prince. And she thinks he's there to bring her back, but he actually has left also, and he wants her to help him with like a job, like a heisty kind of job. And he says it'll have enough money that she can disappear for good. So that's where we're at. But character wasn't really like a part of that. It was like all set up. Things moved pretty quick. A lot happened in that first chapter. So I don't know. So I'm going to give it a 1. Did it catch my interest? Yes. I want to know what happens. I also liked that there doesn't appear to be a romance. I don't think this is going to have a romance in it at all, because the main relationship is going to be between her and her father figure, this spy master, who's basically the person who raised her against her will, basically, by orders of the prince. So I think it's going to be the main relationship is between them, and the prince is for sure not a love interest. He's evil. It did catch my interest. So I'm going to say that's a 2. So we're at 3. I don't know why I keep holding fingers up. Did I like the writing style? Yeah. It was good. It was fine. I mean, nothing like stood out to me, but it was fine. So that's a 1. So vibe check, we're gonna give it a 2. It was very atmospheric. That was the main thing that came across when the characters weren't coming across. Very water-based, very like Welsh. It's based in like a Welsh, fake Welsh kind of country, which I've heard some people talk about how the Welsh stuff isn't super accurate. I think the author might be descended from Welsh people, but she's American. Either way, I'll give that a 2. And then anything worth tabbing? No, I didn't really note anything specifically. So we'll say 0. So how many is that? So yeah, we're keeping this. But let me do this first because I don't like this cover. It's just this kind of blah. I like this. It's very atmospheric. Although I wish there was a way I guess I could put it on upside down. I like this ship castle thing better than the people. This kind of looks romancy. If she falls in love with her father figure, I'm gonna give this book 1 star. I'm about to lose the light, so I think I might take a break. I have to go over to Lindsay's house to feed her Eminals, and then when I come back, I have 4 more books. This video isn't going up till tomorrow morning though, so there's no rush. This one wanted in. Actually, what she did was climb into my lap. And then I just sort of picked her up. Okay, you can just lay down. You lay down. I'm back from my errands and I read 2 more books. The first one is Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds. Alistair Reynolds. This is a hard sci-fi space opera. Hard sci-fi, not a space opera. But I've had it forever. I guess it was published in 2000. I thought it was a little later than that, but did read the first chapter, which was 17 pages. Did I like the characters? No. And I don't think you're meant to. The main character is what we might call an asshole, but I think he's supposed to be one because there's a character who seems pretty awesome who totally calls him out. Like he's some sort of a future, like takes place in the 2500s, future archaeologist on an alien planet on a dig to try and discover things about this alien civilization that occupied the planet before them, that disappeared mysteriously 900,000 years before, and that's what this book is about. And he's like making his students stay at the dig even though there's a severe storm warning because he can't give up on his goals, and his desire for knowledge and power are more important than literally the lives of the people helping him. So he's an asshole. I think that I'm gonna give it a 1 because I think we're not meant to like him. And he's got some sort of a reckoning coming is the feeling I was getting. Did it catch my interest? Yes. I'm gonna give it a 2 for that because I wanna know what happened to these people. Also the aspect of the oncoming storm and the fact that somebody's trying to throw a coup. They literally call it that, a coup against him. I guess the archaeologists also run the city. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but his family is in a position of power and he wants to maintain that power, but he's a dick. So people are trying to oust him. Did I like the writing style? Yeah, it was clear. It was concise. Didn't quite lose myself in it, but I think if I would have kept going and gotten more acclimated to like what was going on in the atmosphere, I would have. So I'll give it a 1. Vibe check, 2. I'm gonna give it a 2 because the dig atmosphere was really high and the characters like talking to each other only enhanced that atmosphere. Anything worth tabbing? No. So what was that? So that's a 6. Okay, so we're keeping this. Okay, now this one, I'm very interested to see what will happen here because I will confess to you, I read the first chapter and then I was like, well, this isn't enough. I don't have like a clear enough feeling of what the rest of the book's gonna be like or what the writing is like. So I just kept going a little bit and then I sped read and I skipped around and then I read the ending. So I think you can tell I'm not keeping this, but I don't know how the numbers are gonna come out. If I were to keep this, I just know it would be a 3-star book, maybe a 2.5 rounded up to 3 even, because the writing was very plain, obvious, not very subtle. No, I don't like when people use that criticism. It was very, very, again, tell not show. The character in the first person was just telling us things and I'm like, stop, show me. And then sometimes the banter was just really painful and you could tell the author was like, this is cute. And I'm, nope, it's not cute. So I did like that they talked about pastries a lot. Anyway, let's look at the numbers. Did I like the characters? Yes. The main character, her voice in the writing style made her sound kind of dumb, but she wasn't supposed to be dumb. So if I just went by her dialogue, it was better, but her inner monologue wasn't very good. And that's due to the writing style. So I'll give it a 1 just because I liked the other characters that I wasn't inside their head. This should have been written in 3rd person. Did it catch my interest? I'll give it a 1 because I was interested enough to speed read and then skip ahead to see what happened. Did I like the writing style? No. No. 0. Vibe check. Whenever she was talking about food, I was really into it. So I'll give it a 1. Anything worth tabbing? No. So what's the number? I wasn't paying attention to like the characters. So I gave it a 3. So it's going. That's fine because I already know what happens. I'm good. I probably won't be reading from this author again unless I see really good reviews for a future book. I haven't seen anyone reading her second book, Red String Theory, I think it's called. So I have no idea if she's improved or not. Last 2. All right, finished. Last 2 done. First up is The Secret Country by Pamela Dean. So I have read one other book by this author and it did not go down well. That was Tamlin. That book was boring and it was not what I thought it was going to be about. Anyway, I was a little bit wary going into this, but I think you're going to see it went well. Also, some background on this. I only ever heard about this because, ironically enough, I read the Cassandra Clare first chapter or whatever earlier in the video because of Cassandra Clare, because people accused her of plagiarizing several books and putting lines and characters and moments and story stuff into her fanfic, which, is it plagiarism if they're not making money? But then again, she did go on to make money because she literally turned her fanfic into a book, but whatever, not the point. This was one of the books that she was accused of taking lines uncredited and just putting them into her own works. That's how I found out about it, but then I looked and it did sound really interesting. It's about a group of kids who play a game called Secret Country every summer. They're cousins and they get really into it, like role-playing basically. And one summer they end up in their in the Secret Country, like in their actual roles that they've been playing for years. That's what it's about. I didn't quite realize that it was about young kids. I thought it was about older people. Like it was published in 1985, so I totally missed this. I feel like, I feel like I'm gonna like it now, but I feel like I would have loved it when I was a kid. Anyway, let's go through the questions. Okay, did I like the characters? Yes. So the 2 main characters that we meet, we get a prologue with all the cousins who play the Secret Country, but the 2 we're following in the first chapter are Laura and Ted? Yeah, Laura and Ted, and they are staying with the wrong cousins for the first summer ever. Laura is just a hot mess. She breaks stuff constantly, and her aunt and uncle are getting very frustrated with her, particularly her aunt. But Ted and Laura are frustrated because their other cousins, the ones they usually play the game with, have moved to Australia and they can't go to Australia. These characters sort of just, I knew who they were instantly. Like Pamela Dean was a talented writer. I'm not sure why I didn't mesh with Tamlin, but this one I meshed with almost right away. So yes, I did like the characters, so that's 2. Did it catch my interest? Yes. Yes, I want to keep going. Particularly, I wasn't like really into them playing the game, which is what the prologue is. But as soon as they were in their aunt and uncle's house, there was a particular moment that really got me into it and really caught my attention. And it wasn't them accidentally stumbling into this secret world that they thought they created. But I'll talk about it later. Did I like the writing style? Yes. It was very unique. Like, I don't feel like I've read writing like this before. It felt very Pamela Dean. And again, I'll quote a thing later. 2, 2, and 2. So we're at 6. Vibe check. Yes, good vibes. This has 80s vibes where the kids are out playing and making up worlds with very little parental supervision and letting their imaginations rule. I don't know if kids play like this anymore, but they definitely felt familiar and good vibes. Anything worth tabbing? Yes, this is the moment I wanted to talk to you about. So they're having a hard time with their cousins. They think their cousins are boring and they don't play the right games. And they don't pretend, they just want to play tag all the time and watch TV, and they're just boring, is how Ted and Laura feel. And then there's a moment where Laura is sneaking around and she catches 2 of her cousins playing a secret game, just like her secret game with her cousins, her other cousins. And so she's like flabbergasted, like, oh my God, they're not who we thought they were. And she goes to tell her brother Ted, hey, you know, they're playing a game. They're being secret. They have a secret too. And so she pulls them down and they listen, and it's very clear that they're like rewriting their image of who their cousins are. And then they have this conversation. We shouldn't be here, said Ted now. What? We couldn't work our secret with a lot of strange kids around. Laura was horrified. No, we couldn't. We'll have to keep out of their way, said Ted. So just that moment of like kid-like empathy for something that isn't like readily apparent, that he's like instantly like, we have to keep out of their way. They have to be allowed to do their secret without any outside interference. I thought that was so cute. I was just like, oh, and it made me really like these kids. And I really have a soft spot for Laura because she's a hot mess. As the book opens, like not the prologue, but the actual book, she's just broken a stained glass window in a bathroom. And then she's like hiding and listening to her Aunt and Uncle fight about her breaking so much stuff. And then as she's doing that, she breaks something else. Anyway, I like this. Okay, so we've got, this is a 10. This is a 10. I hate this cover though. It's so ugly. I don't think there's really a good cover for this because I don't think it's very widely read, but I know there is an older paperback with a unicorn on the cover that I would love to get my hands on. And I think this is a trilogy. So I don't know when I'll get to this, but I'm very excited about it now. And then the last book, I read the first 3 chapters of this one actually, and the prologue, got to page 25. They're pretty short chapters, is City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. So this is about a family that is cursed and a young girl who is determined to break the curse. Now, I didn't get to the part where she's a young woman yet because this is adult fantasy. She's still a kid in the first 3 chapters. Well, we'll get into it in a second. And also this threw me because it takes place in our world, and this is not our world. It really threw me. I was like, why are we in our world? Why does this man have an orange sports car? Did I like the characters? They have potential, but some stuff that I will talk about in a second got in the way of that potential. As I went, I liked the main character, whose name is Violet. I liked her more and more because she's a bit of a snoop. And I empathize with that because I was a snoop when I was a child. and I probably would still be today if I was smaller and could get away with it. I'm not there yet. Like I said, some other stuff was getting in the way of the characters, and I'll talk about that in a second. So we're gonna give it a 1. Did it catch my interest? Yes. Although again, some stuff was getting in the way of that. So I will give it a 1, but I do want to know what the curse is, who this strange woman is who keeps kidnapping children and who apparently is collecting a never-ending debt from this family. So that's 2. Did I like the writing styles? Yes and no. When the writing got out of its own way, I liked it. Like, you could tell when the story took over from the author and just started writing itself, as opposed to the author sitting there painstakingly thinking, how can I make this really good and dramatic? You know, how can I impress people? Which was what the other half of it felt like. It felt very first novel-y in the sense that it did a lot of things that I feel like new writers do that just aren't necessary, but worse, they get in the way of important things like readers connecting with characters and readers being interested in the story, because you have to fight through all the impressive or cool bullshit to get to the core of the story. When good writing shouldn't obscure that stuff, it should shine a light on it. And this is trying too hard. Does that make sense? So I did like the writing style in the sense that when the author would stop trying so hard to impress and use lots of big words and lots of adjectives and weird structure that didn't really do anything for the story, I liked it. So I'm gonna give it a 1. It's just not fully there. Vibe check. The vibes it was giving was first-time novelist. And I feel like I have read / written opening scenes of books like this before, and it felt very like the author had an idea but didn't really know how to execute it, really. So it's just kind of just surface stuff and not like real stuff. I don't know how to describe it. It just felt like first-time writer stuff. And again, the moments when the writing got out of the way, I liked the vibes. There's like a lived-in quality to it. It jumps all over the place though, also, which don't do that at the beginning of your book, guys. Don't jump all over the place. The reader has to get comfortable before you start jumping. And it just, I don't know. So I give it a 1. I'll give it a 1. Anything worth tabbing? No. So I guess I'm getting rid of this, even though I kind of want to continue. What do I do? Do I need to rethink some of these ratings? Okay, so did I like the characters? They were just cardboardy at first though, so I can't change my rating on that one, so it's still a 1. Did it catch my interest? Okay, I guess it did catch my interest because I'm upset that I'm giving it away, so I guess I'll give that a 2. Did I like the rating? That's still a 1. Vibe check is still a 1. So it's a 5. Fuck, I can't go any higher than a 5. This is going. You know what? It's fine. I don't think that I would give this more than a 3.5 anyway, because of the very stuff that I was just complaining about. So I think what I'm gonna do is still read this, but get rid of this book. I don't need this in my house. I can do the audio. I can get it from the library. I don't want to buy the sequels, so why do I need this? Yeah, it's fine. I'm getting rid of it. I'm getting rid of it. Okay, so let's sum up what we've done here today. Oh, Lily wants dinner, so I have to do this real quick. It's much more official than the ratty, chewed up paper from last time, if you watched my last video, which I'll link below. I am keeping these books. I'm keeping 5 and getting rid of 5. That's good. That's good. This was productive. So these are the 5 I'm keeping. This was The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd Jones, 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson, A Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet by Jamie Ford, Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds, and The Secret Country by Pamela Dean. This was a 10. This was a 6. This was an 8. This was a 7. Shocker, still shocking. And The Drowned Woods was a 6. Now the 5 that I'm getting rid of, which by the way will be up for sale by now in my Pango Books storefront if you want any of them. There are a couple of cool editions, and I'm going to price the other ones very cheaply. So here are the 5 I'm getting rid of. Oh, it's heavy, it's heavy. Discount Armageddon by Shauna McGuire, Lunar Love by Lauren Kong Jessen, The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers, Attic Child by Lola J, and Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. Oh, this was a 4. This was a 3. Oh, I didn't write my score down. What was? Oh, that's this one. It was a 4, right? No, it was a 5. I got it to a 5, but it's still not good enough. So this was a 5, this was a 0, and this was a 4. That's that. Another successful 5 books gone. And then maybe I've reignited my interest in all of these books. Actually, I have. There's a couple that I could just sit down with right now and just go. This one. And this one. It's my taste juvenile. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it to the end of this video, please leave me a cat for Pepino. He's mad. He wants his dinner. Or if you don't want to leave me a kitty cat, we can leave a crown for this dude. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me that emoji if you don't have anything else to say. I hope you are having a lovely fill in the blank. Farewell.